Welcome to Warhammer Warscroll Review. In this video, we take a look at the Nighthaunt unit, the Chainrasps.
Warscroll review.
Chainrasp Hordes will be popping up quite a bit in Age of Sigmar. With the release of Nighthaunt, as well as them being included in abundance in the new Soul Wars starter box, the Hordes will be popular on the tabletop. On the surface, they will seem like your basic battle line troop, and for the most part they are. But being as they are a Nighthaunt unit, they will have a few tricks up their sleeve. To start, the Ghosties have a 6-inch flying movement, common for Nighthaunt. But what is not common for Nighthaunt is a 5-up save, and even for death models, they're unique, with their base bravery of 6. The Hordes do the Ethereal rule, making their 5-up save unaffected by rend or any other saving modifiers. Yeah, this is lower than every other Nighthaunt save, but you're likely to have at least twice as many models in the unit, so the save actually is pretty tough. In addition, their champion model boosts them up to bravery 10, so as long as the enemy doesn't have ways to eliminate specific models and you position correctly, the Horde should always be bravery 10. Combined with their 6-up deathless save, the Hordes will be quite resilient. All these rules together mean the Chainrasp Hordes are some of the sturdiest battle line options in the game. For battle line, their offense isn't half bad. The models have basic attacks, but they come with 2 of them, and their ability, Chilling Horde, triggers at just 10 models. This is a really great ability, because you're always going to have at least 10 models, and if you don't, then you're not going to do any damage in the first place. Chilling Horde allows them to reroll wound rolls of 1, a small but welcome addition. As I just said, Chainrasp Hordes start in units of 10, but they can go up to 40 models. They get a massive regiments discount and end up being the same cost as skeletons. They are Nighthaunt's cheapest battle line option, but 10 Chainrasp Hordes can't do anything but hold an objective and die. I'd recommend at least 20 models, but going for 40 is ideal. Even taking 2 units at those sizes is a great plan and offers a ton of bodies to get their jobs done. These ghosts excel at screening, holding objectives, and bogging down the enemy with sheer weight of bodies. They should be surrounding your ever-important death support characters and keeping the opponent away from your objectives. They aren't that quick, but they do fly, so repositioning them is not too hard. Taking 2 units makes this maneuverability even more helpful. If you place 1 unit of Chainrasps in front to screen your army and support characters, they will likely take some punishment. When the Horde is sufficiently battered, fly behind the rest of your army, and fly your fresh Horde to the front of the battle. With your weakened Horde now safe, use your healing abilities to pump them back up to starting numbers. Speaking of healing, there are plenty of other combos that enhance the Chainrasp Hordes. The Hordes can be a part of a Death Grand Alliance, any of the Legions in Nagash, as well as Nighthaunt. Unsurprisingly, the Grand Alliance offers the Hordes the least in terms of synergies, but they are still a solid battle line option to support the rest of your death forces. Any of the Legions in Nagash grant grave sites, which offer up to 4 sources of regeneration, each being D3 models back to the Horde. The Grand Host of Nagash has a unique ability called Legions Innumerable, to potentially heal back another D3. Any of the Legions also grant the Endless Legions command ability, an amazing ability that will allow you to recycle your Chainrasp Hordes. After the unit is destroyed, it can be placed again near a gravesite if the general uses this command ability. This ability is really powerful and allows you to just throw in endless horde of undead at the opponent. Master's Teaching is a similar ability that is granted by choosing the Legion of Sacrament. The Legion of Night also has an interesting command trait that would allow the Chainrasps to reroll battle shock tests if they're near the general. While it doesn't enhance the Chainrasps, the Legions are infamous for their debuffing abilities. Sometimes dragging the enemy down to your level is better than trying to meet them by enhancing your own units. Between spells like Decrepify, Fading Vigor, and Overwhelming Dread, as well as some of the artifacts, they will be sure to drag the enemy down. In a Nighthaunt faction, the Chainrasps gain quite a bit too. Through the battle traits, they gain a negative bravery aura, the normal deathless save, as well as an ability to allow them to attack twice after rolling a 10 or more to charge. While you can't rely on this, when you get it, you can try to use the extra pile-in to surround the opponent, potentially piling in twice before the opponent gets a chance to do anything about it. Nighthaunt have two pretty potent artifacts to enhance the Chainrasps. Pendant of the Fellwind would increase their movement by 3, making for a solid 9-inch flying movement. For battle line, this is actually really fast, and the repositioning I mentioned earlier becomes even easier. The second artifact worth mentioning is the Beacon of Nagashizar. This one increases the Guardian Soul's healing spell by a flat 3 models or wounds. And that makes a perfect segue into which Warscrolls pair well with the Chainrasps. It shouldn't be a surprise, but the Guardian of Souls is near the top of that list. Their unique spell, Spectral Lore, heals back D6 models, and as I just mentioned, the Beacon of Nagashizar would make that D6 plus 3. While this obviously increases the maximum amount of models revived to 9, this also makes up for a bad roll. Now, even the worst roll will give you at least 4 ghosts back. In addition to this healing, the Guardian of Souls offers all Nighthaunt units wholly within 12 inches plus 1 to wound. For basic battle line, with 2 attacks wounding on 3s with reroll 1s, it's actually fairly potent. The Spirit Torment can also offer to heal back D3 models if your army slew 3 or more models in the previous turn. The kicker here is that it happens at the start of the Battle Shock phase. That may not fly out as something extremely powerful, but it is. This basically gives you a buffer before taking a Battle Shock test. In addition, it means it can happen in your turn and the opponent's. Like the Guardian of Souls, the Spirit Torment offers a command buff as well, rerolling 1s to hit. For an enemy that almost exclusively hits on 4s, this is a welcome boost. In the end, the Spirit and Guardian would be mainly there for the healing aspect, but they would also have a unit of 10 or more hitting on 4s, winning on 3s, rerolling 1s. All your 1s. Lady Allender, Mortarch of Grief, has a pretty potent unique spell that we need to mention. Grief Stricken is both a debuff and a buff. Target an enemy unit and they are -1 to hit. Not only this, but your units are now +1 to hit them. Use on the Chainrasp target, and the little buggers would be even tougher to take out. All the while, they'd now be hitting on 3s. If you're really focused on making the Chainrasp offensive, you could invest in the Knight of Shrouds, on or off the Ethereal Steed. The mounted version would probably work a bit better with your Horde of Ghosts. The Knight's command ability adds an extra attack to each model in the unit. Alternatively, you can ally in the Vampire Lord, which is currently an incredible support piece for a Nighthaunt faction. I'm not entirely convinced the Warscroll won't be nerfed in the future, but for now the model's command ability would provide another extra attack. In addition to this, the model also offers Deathly Invocation for D3 models back to the unit. Adding another healing source to support your Chainrasps will make them even more immovable. In all, the Chainrasp could be hitting on 3s and wounding on 3s, with 3 attacks, rerolling 1s to hit and wound without sacrificing any of the healing potential. Stacking up these abilities makes a unit of 40 Chainrasps one of the best tar pits in the game. They will pepper down just about any target while taking minimal damage, and healing back what they do suffer. In a Death Grand Alliance or Legion of Nagash, they would also have access to a Necromancer. Again, Deathly Invocation would be beneficial, but also their unique spell, Vanhel's Dance Macabre. The Dance Macabre would allow the Chainrasp to pile in and attack a second time. One of the best ways to increase the effectiveness of the Chainrasps is to include them in one of the 2 Nighthaunt battalions built specifically for them. The Condemned includes 2 units of at least 20 Chainrasps, a Spirit Torment, and a unit of Chain Ghasts. If you're unfamiliar with the Chain Ghast, the only thing you need to know here is that they provide the same buff as the Spirit Torment when near it. But in the Condemned Warscroll battalion, the Spirit Torment and Chain Ghast offer reroll all hits, not just 1s, for the Chainrasps. This is a neat ability, and if it weren't for the next battalion, it would be fairly popular. The other Warscroll battalion is called the Chain Guard, because of course it's chain something. This one also includes 2 units of at least 20 Chainrasps, but this time the support character is a Guardian of Souls. When the Guardian of Souls uses their unique spell, they heal the Chainrasps an extra D6 models. So with this, and the Beacon of Nagashizar, Spectral Lore would be healing 2d6 plus 3 models. Insane. So at minimum, the spell heals 5 models, and a maximum 15. This is almost half of a maxed out unit of 40, and with other sources to heal, the player could easily bring back a unit from the brink of death. Re-death? undeath. Now, the battalion also mentions another spell called Temporal Translocation. GW has already said in their designer's commentary that this spell is a unique spell on the anniversary version of the Guardian of Souls. Not sure what this does yet, but this battalion works with it too. Maybe it's just a teleport-like spell to move your chainrasps 9 inches away from an enemy. Maybe you could pull them out of combat, possibly. But that might be kind of boring. But to be able to heal D6 models when you do it might be nice. With all the healing mentioned, the Chainrasp Hordes could be pretty easily healing back 2d6 and 3d6 plus 3 models back a turn. That's an average of 16 models. As I said, the Chainrasp Hordes are usable to any faction that can include them, and they really give skeletons a run for their money. As long as the player has plenty of healing for them, they will last quite a while. The best way to defeat Chainrasp Hordes is to take out their support characters. If this can't be done, you will have to kill the horde down to the model in one go. Leaving even a handful left over can allow the unit to heal back all the work you've done. Don't underestimate regenerating hordes, or they will stick around much longer than you want them to. Chainrasp Hordes receive a 4 out of 5. They honestly are almost a 5, but they do require multiple support characters to really become a threat, so I still feel they are balanced. What do you think of the Chainrasp Hordes? What Warscrolls would you like to see reviewed next on the channel? Leave your answers, thoughts, and questions in the comments below, and thanks for watching.